Alright, so now I'm going to build the Beyond the Wall mini from Kingdom Death. Crack that open. And it's the traditional art card. It's the one from the original release. It's really nice though, because you can see her broken blade. And she's hugging her lantern. It looks like she's bleeding too. No, she's not. That's a part of her tabard. But she's, yeah, very scared with the darkness encroaching. It looks like you get cloth leggings. When you suffer the bleeding or bloody thighs, severe leg injuries, only gain 1 bleeding token. So that's nice, actually. Hey, Discobot. And then hard breastplate. Ignore the first severe injury you suffer each showdown. That is actually awesome. That is actually really good. But let me set that box aside and crack this open. I'll build the base first just for ease of, use. Because that's actually pretty straightforward. So I'll just get that out of the way right away. So I'm just going to clip off the little base things. Just remember, you got to leave those pins as they go into these holes here. Pretty straightforward, but just in case, I like to note the pretty obvious stuff just in case. A lot of people have some trepidation about building Kingdom Death models, so I want to make it as simple and as straightforward as possible, but try to make things that you might just forget. Yeah, I like the before and the Beyond the Wall. I'm glad they did the before, the before, because the Beyond has been a Kingdom Death mini for a while, but it's nice seeing both sides of that little story. So, cutting her hair. Remember, if there's ever a question of what you should cut and what you shouldn't, flip it around until you get a better idea of what you're seeing. That's her breastplate, so this is a perfect example. Looks like I should cut it here, and I should, but looks like the angle is like here. So that saves you some time and make sure you don't cut stuff you're not supposed to. And then her head and her neck, that's another one. It's like at an angle down here where the flat is. And then this little part is tricky because you got to make sure you don't clip too much either. It's such a small part. Also set that aside on something that you'll notice, like maybe on the base here, because otherwise you'll lose it really easily. And then it looks like her other arm, same thing, just be very careful. The lantern in her hand. Looks like her shoulder plates, yep. Her other shoulder plate. Her breasts. Again, make sure the angle is right so you don't cut too much off. And then her other arm. So yeah, it's a really good model. It's actually weird that she's got a knife. Like in the art, it's actually a broken blade. So I may actually take the time and clip that, and then put the other side on the base. We'll see. But I typically tend to save these because the round sprues are actually really cool, and I actually will make a bonus video today for how to use these sprues. But I'll save that for later. Alright, so I'm going to just put the base together right now. I got all the parts clipped out. And I'm actually going to, she's supposed to be this way, and so I'm going to do that. I just got to bear in mind that this is together, because I'm actually planning out a different kind. Yep, before just happened. I just did before Lilac Days. But don't worry, all these videos are going to be up on YouTube. I'll do a big upload session. I'll probably, one of them a day will come up on YouTube, but I will upload them all this weekend. So you'll just start seeing one pop up every day for about a week or so. Actually, this is going to be like 20 or 30 miniatures I'm building today, so I may end up having a bunch come up on YouTube. Okay. So there's a lot of lines and stuff on the edge. Just trying to make sure that's gone. That here too. Okay. Alright, just gluing that in. Looks like this base is actually missing quite a lot in terms of detail. It's nice. It's a nice little display piece, but there's something missing to me. But another reason to make sure everything's good. It looks like you had to push a little hard on here to get that in. And it's okay to leave a gap at the back. I'm trying to make this as a right angle as possible. I'll show you something cool in the next video of how to combine two of these if you're so lucky to get two. Cool. That's done. Alright. So now I want to attach the legs first. The legs to the body are always an easy place to start because that'll give you a framework. Alright, it looks like it's, yeah, see, you can actually see it on this one. It's actually a really bad mold line. You kind of see it on the video, but there's a really bad mold line there. You can see that. So I gotta clear that up. It's gonna cause me problems later if I don't. There, I'm just cleaning that up so that it fits, and that's the nice thing about this though. So it looks like her right leg. Yeah. So you can dry fit that to make sure it's good. But I'm going to clean up this mold line before I get too far ahead of myself. And this mold line goes all the way down to her foot. Just lightly, mostly with the, so I'll do it on my hand. This is very dull. Don't do this with a sharp one. But you're scraping like that. So you're not cutting, you're scraping. So that way you don't chip away too much detail. And you still get rid of that mold line. You don't have to worry about it too much on the boots because after a couple layers of paint you won't really notice. But on anything that's got skin on it, so her legs, her exposed legs, her butt, anything with skin, you really have to worry about these mold lines. They're not as bad on King of Death miniatures as they are on most things. But anytime you see them, it's good to just get them when you see them. So that looks good. And here's another one too. There's one straight down. You can really see it here. It's straight down the leg. So again, I've got to clear that up. So two ways of doing it. So I'm doing the hold it flat and just at a very slight angle to get some of the bigger raised stuff, but on the lines themselves, I'll turn it. So I was doing this. I'm going to turn it a full 90 degrees and go scrape like that. You get a feel after a while for which one works for what. And remember, flip it over. This one actually has bad mold lines all the way across. Okay. Go through everything else. Make sure her hair is good. Nope, there's a piece right at the top that you gotta scrape off. That's the nice thing though about hair is mold lines in hair actually look fine. As long as they're with the grain. If they're cutting across, then it's weird. But if they're with it, then it's fine. So most of the time you don't notice mold lines in hair. But sometimes the miniatures companies aren't smart and they don't put it with it. So remember that little piece I had? Yeah, it fell off the base when I moved it. So again, I should make sure it's cleaned and then put it back on the base so I don't forget. Oops. And that's why it's so small. It's literally sticking to my fingers. There. Cool. Arm is done, hair is done, make sure the body is done. But you don't have to worry about because she's on the ground. Alright, and her neck is actually completely flat. The base of her neck is completely flat. So I'm just trying to clear up everything there. There, because I literally have to glue that straight into her hair. There's a flat spot for her hair to be glued in. So I'll keep the hair in her head in the same spot. And then her shoulder plates, it looks like they are slot fit, which is nice. That helps a lot. I still got to keep it clean and trim. There we go. And her breasts, looks like it's at the top. So I may have to slot fit that before I decide how much I should trim off. So look, see, it's not quite fitting, but that's because I need to trim some. But it's always good, to slot fit beforehand. Because otherwise it'll look weird with a gap. And then if in doubt, trim just a little bit off. I trim just a very little bit off, which actually should be enough. I believe so. Yep, that was just enough. Okay. There we go, see? Perfect. And now I can attach, and those are those slot fit holes for her armor. And looks like they're just different enough so you can tell which side is which. So one is like a square, and one is like a, what is it? I forget what it's called. It's like an arc. It's like a semicircle. So, legs should be good. I've already fit that one. I'm gonna put glue in both. So I should be good. Okay. Make sure you got the right leg for the right slot. Remember to turn the mini over just in case. There, I just had to move it a little bit to make that joint crisper. So, and that helps. It helps a lot in the future. When you're painting, having a lack of gaps like that really helps. And the only way I knew that is because I kept moving it. See, there's a gap on the bottom. There's a bit of a gap on the bottom, but that is okay because I'm not really going to see that. It's the gaps on the side that you see. Okay, now I'm going to attach her head. Take full advantage of that flat spot for her head. You're kind of going to need it. Oh, her head is literally turned all the way around. That's weird, actually. It's really weird. Ah, that's why. That's what that front plate was. So let me kind of fit this where I think it is. That little tiny piece that I keep moving is a plate that goes right on her neck. And it looks like it fits down, which is weird. But I think it cuts out. Yep, there we go. So it's that spot, that hole right in the front, right under her neckline. Right in the center of her chest. There we go. It's that tiny little piece that I had. I have a little bit to trim. I didn't think I did, but I do. Just a tiny bit to trim on that. It's hard to because it's so small. But you'll notice it if you don't trim it. So just be careful. There, now it's flat. Now I'm going to attach that and hopefully seal up that little gap. There's a gap between her neck. Oops. See? I dropped the part, but I got really lucky. It didn't go all the way on the floor. That would have been a nice little adventure for me. Okay. And I'm actually going to remove her head to place this more easily. There we go. That should help take the look away from the way her neck goes on, because her neck goes on really weird, because she's looking to the side. Should provide a much more interesting look, but at the same time, it's really weird. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to attach her arms. It looks like this arm's, yeah, this arm's pretty good. Alright. I'll glue that on really quick. And you can see the back of our arm looks a little weird. I'm not worried about that because the armor is actually going to cover that up. And I'll grab that armor piece right now, actually. So the one I need is the one with... Oh, I love how I did... yeah, no, it's okay. So don't attach the... I noticed that she's got an armor plate. Yep, neck guard armor. That's what I did. So it's there. It's just... not very visible. Actually, I'm holding it closer than I normally do, so I'm going to move that there. There we go. A little more easy to see. So this is the square one. Should be this one. Yep, there we go. And I'm not attaching the lantern yet because I'm going to attach her breastplate, which I may not, actually. She's got one, but I don't know. I'm not sure. I have not decided just yet. Kind of like it without it. I'm deciding. Let me fit it on there and see. So it goes right there. Right there. It's not quite my style. I don't know. There's something lacking about it. Maybe not fitting it on properly. Nope, I just don't like it. So you can fit it on if you want to, but I don't really like it. I like the, like just the armor falling off, like she's been in a big battle, which she has. So same as the other side, you don't have to worry too much about the arm because she'll be up against the wall anyway. So there's a weird joint here with her arm. It's gonna look weird, but it's okay if it looks a little weird. Try to fit it as best you can, but don't be too worried if it does look weird. Oops. Dropping pieces. Still dropping pieces. Probably because I was trying to glue it backwards. There we go. And it should actually mesh with that, so I do have it backwards. You can see on the front it's supposed to mesh with the rest here. With her neck guard. It's supposed to line up. So, if in doubt, Make sure it does. Yep, there we go. That's more like it. There, you can see it lines up better. Not perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be there. If in doubt, there are these tiny little holes. I don't know if you can see them. These tiny, tiny little holes here and here, like indentations, and they're in the bottom. Nope, there's some on the top too, so don't use that as a judge. Never mind. Okay, so I didn't have quite enough glue on there to hold it on. There. Big dollop. There we go. And now I'll make sure her lantern is good. It's got a little bit on the bottom here. I gotta clear off. Again, I'm using a really dull razor, so if you're using a nice sharp one, just be very careful. It's very easy to cut yourself. And there we go. I'll set her on the base. There she is, right on the base. She looks good. And then, like I said, you can attach that armor or not. I just said it not to. There she is.